Good morning. For our weekly story, we're going to start with our informational text page. Informational text uses details in words and pictures to tell about a main or central idea. So in this sentence, Adobe homes are special. This is our main idea. It's what this paragraph is mostly about, Adobe homes. They are made of mud. This sentence is a detail. It's telling us more about Adobe homes. So let's turn to page 28, and we're going to look at vocabulary for our informational story, Weather Around the World. Our first vocabulary word is snow. Snow is water that freezes high up in the air. Rainy. When it's rainy, there is a lot of rain. Like there was a couple of days ago, and there will be over the next several days. Windy. When it is windy, the air is moving. We can see the air moving when we watch the trees, the leaves of the trees, or things blow across the street. Our last word is weather. Weather is what the air outside is like at a certain place and in a certain time. Look on at the next page here. Looking at the pictures, what do you think or predict the story will be about? Our title is Weather Around the World. So we know this informational text is going to be about weather. All right, let's turn the page. We'll read the first page of the story. Many places in the world have extreme weather. Some places are very cold. Some places are very hot. Here's a picture of our Earth, our world. Remember we talked about how the blue is all of the water, and the other colored parts are the land. The white is ice. Okay, let's look on at the next page. Some places are very rainy. Some places are very windy. People find ways to live in all of these places. So let's look at our question here. What place does the first picture show? Underline the words that name the place. Okay, the first picture is on the first page here. This is our first picture. What place does this picture show? Our Earth, or the world. Let's underline the words in this paragraph that tell us the place. Many places in the world have extreme weather. So here it tells us what the picture is, in the world. So we'll underline this phrase, many places in the world. Okay, now let's turn to page 32. In Alaska, it is very cold. People make huts out of snow. The walls block out the cold winds. So here we see a picture here of a hut, or you might know it as an igloo. Looks very cold, doesn't it? Okay, let's go on to the next page. Whoop, here we go. In the desert, it is often very hot. People live in tents. The tents keep the hot air out. So here's a picture of their tent. There's another tent, and you can see all of the sand and sun, no shade. Very, very hot. If it's so hot, why do you think he's wearing so many clothes? Why do you think the clothes are covering most of his skin? To keep him from getting sunburned, to protect his skin. Let's look at our question. How do people live in very cold and very hot places? Underline the words that tell what the picture shows. Well, we can start with this page. What words tell us how people live in this extreme hot weather? People live in tents. The tents keep the hot air out. So these two sentences tell us how a person would live in this hot weather. So we'll underline these two sentences. People live in tents. The tents keep the hot air out. Now let's look at Alaska. Let's see here what sentence or sentences tell us how they live here. People make huts out of snow. The walls block out the cold winds. Well, these two sentences tell us how they live here. People make huts out of snow. The walls block out the cold winds. So in these places, the people who live there make homes that protect them against the elements of heat and cold. Okay, let's turn the page. In China, it can be very rainy. People make hats out of plants. They wear the hats when they work. So here you see the hats that are made out of plants. They wear these, and they wear little rain ponchos, and this keeps them dry. So let's underline the sentence that tells us why people in China wear hats when they work. They wear hats because in China it can be very rainy. Let's look on to the next page. In Antarctica, it is very windy. Scientists live and work in buildings of many shapes and sizes. So here we have a round shape, and this is a rectangular building. And if you look closely at the water, you see that it's very icy. There's big chunks of ice in it. Very, very cold there. Okay, let's turn the page. Around the world, people find ways to live with extreme weather. Next page. Choose a place you just read about. What would you do to be able to live there? So what I want you to do on a piece of paper is to draw a picture of one of the places that we just read about and write a sentence saying how you would be able to live there. What would you do? What would you live in? Or what would you do to be able to live there?